Hello friends, in this video we are going to talk about parity check codes. Here these parity check codes are coming under error detection schemes. So far we are talking about so many error detection schemes. So parity check is a very simple, very basic mechanism to detect errors, especially single bit errors and burst errors. So we know what is single bit error and we know what is burst errors. So when it comes to parity check codes, we have two options. One is simple parity check, so that we can find out single bit errors. Two-dimensional parity check codes are available. Through this, we can able to find burst errors. So we know burst error, more than 2 bits, 2 or more than 2 bits of data consecutively getting error is called burst error. This can be identified using two-dimensional parity checks. First, we'll look into a simple single-bit parity check codes. Okay, so how to use priority methods? Okay, what we are going to do is we are going to check for parity generators. We are going to generate parities. So we all know what is parity. So we know odd parities and even parities. So take a data like 1 0 0 1. This is the data what I have. So in this, whether I'm going to use odd number of ones as an accountable logic, then I can say like it is odd parity. Even number of ones as an accountable logic, then I can say it is a even parity. Okay. So in this particular diagram, what I'm going to use here is very simple. So I'm going to look for error detection. If the parity bits are errored, then I'm going to drop the data and I'm going to ask for retransmission of data. Okay. So now single parity check. So here the method is called vertical redundancy check. So in single parity check, the parity bit is added to every data unit so that the total number of 1 is even or odd. So that is the concept here. Very simple. So in this case, my data is 1 1 0 1 0 0 1 1. Okay. So whether by adding a 1, what parity I am going to achieve, or whether by adding a 0, what parity I am trying to achieve here. So for example, in this case, I want to have a odd parity. Okay, so check the data. The data is 1 1 0 1 0 0 1 1. How many number of ones are there? There are 5 number of ones. If I am going to use odd parity logic, then I should have 0 as a redundant bit. But in this case, I am going to use even logic. So in this case, how many number of ones are there? There are 5 ones. It is odd. If you want to make it even, put 1 to the data. So the parity bit will become 1. Very simple, guys. So odd parity means count number of ones in the data. If it is already odd number of ones are there, put a 0 as your redundant bit. If odd number of ones are not present, add a 1 to your data. Similarly, this is applicable for even. So even number of ones are not present, add 1 and make it even. Even number of ones are already there, add a 0 as your parity bit. So anyhow, we are going to add a parity bit. Okay. So based upon odd parity or even parity logic, we are going to add these bit. Okay. So now, therefore in this case, we are already having 8 number of ones. So total number of bits to be transmitted, this case will become 9. Actually 8 is my data bit, but additionally I am adding one more bit as a parity bit. Okay. So single bit parity check, what I am going to do is I am going to generate the parity bits. So as I already told you, either you can choose even parity or odd parity. So in this case, what is even parity is the total number of ones transmitted must be even. What is odd parity? Total number of ones transmitted must be odd. Next, parity generation. Parity bit is chosen so that number of ones bits in the code word is even. So I already explained you that. Now, computing the parity bit is based upon modulo 2 logic. Computing the parity bit is based upon modulo 2 logic. So we can use XOR operation or XNOR logic gates in the circuit in order to generate parity bits in a practical way. Now, so we'll take an example and we'll see how it works. Okay. Step 1, count the number of ones in a byte. So the given data is 10101101. So in this case, we have 5 ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to think about even parity. So what I'm doing is I'm going to add a 1 to the LSB. So the 1 is going to be my parity bit if I'm following even logic. What about odd parity? For the same data, 1 0 1 0 1 1 0 0. So in this case, I'm actually having 4 bits as 1. So it is not odd, so it is even. To make it odd, you have to put 1 as your parity bit. So 1 0 1 0 1 1 0 0 1 is going to be the final transmitted data. Okay. So if the number of bits are already odd, the parity bit will become 0. So now how this checking logic is going to work, that we'll discuss. So at the receiver side, the receiver is going to count the number of ones in the received data. Let us assume I'm choosing odd parity. So number of received data bits I'm counting, so whether it is odd or not. So if it is odd, then drop the redundant bit and accept, drop the redundant bit and accept the data. If the number of ones is not odd, then reject the data and request for retransmission. It is very simple, guys. It is very, very simple logic. Okay. See, if any data is disturbed or any data is corrupted, 0 become 1 means definitely this odd or even parity is not going to happen. Definitely there will be a change in this odd or even parity. Based upon this particular logic, this parity checker is going to work. So this is how parity is detected. So we'll see what are the drawbacks of parity check, especially single dimensional parity check. It can only detect single bit errors. So single bit errors are rare and cannot detect errors if 2 bits are interchanged. So as I already told you, for example, I have a parity bit 1 0 1 0 1 1 0 1 1. So now what happens? Only 1 bit is errored, then it can detect the parity bits are going to be changed. So we can detect there is an error. If 2 bits are interchanged, then what happens? Definitely there won't be any parity happening, because if I count, for example, if I count number of even parity, definitely, obviously, I'm going to get even bits. Even in odd parity case also, if 2 bits are going to be changed, definitely this method fails. But yes, this is an effective method used for only single bit error. So this is called single bit parity check codes. So in order to overcome this, we are going for another method called two-dimensional parity check. Okay, this is called longitudinal redundancy check method. So what we are going to do is we are going to have row-wise parity and as well as column-wise parity to our data. So we can see in this case, right, we are taking a test data here, 1 1 0 0 1 1 1 1 0 1 1 1 0 1. So I'm having 4 test data. Okay. So in this case, what I'm doing is I'm going to calculate row-wise parity as well as column-wise parity bits. But the logic can be yours. You can use either odd logic or even parity logic. So in this case, what they have done is 1 1 0 0 1 1 1. So 1 1 1 1 1. So odd number of ones are there. They have added 1 to it. So it is an even parity logic. So yes, they have used a even logic. So based on that, they have generated row-wise parity as well as column-wise parity. What they are going to do, when they send the data, they are going to add the parity bits along with the data. They are going to add the parity bits along with the data. And finally, they are going to send the column of parity bits. They are going to send the column of parity bits. If any change happens to this data, definitely it can be caught. So now that is what is given in here. So a block of bits is organized in a table, that is row and column parity bits, and calculated for each row and column. So how we are going to compute this? It is m plus n plus 1 parity bits, and we are going to send m into n plus m plus n plus 1 bits. Okay. See, that is what I already told. It is all about adding redundancy. All this redundancy is to protect your data. Next. So what we are going to do here is add parity bit to each character, then add a row of parity bits after a block of character. So that's what I already mentioned. So the row of parity bits is actually parity bit for each column of characters. So what I am doing is I am going to convert my data into block of data. Each block of data is assigned in a matrix format. So I am finding out row parity as well as column parity. So what happens whenever there is a change, right, happen either in row wise or column wise. So now let us assume there are 2 bits changed, right? It can be caught either row wise or column wise. So in the above example, the same is given here. So 1 1 0 0 1 1 1 is the data. So like that I am having 4 test data. I have calculated row parity as well as column parity. So that is what is given in here. So what are the drawbacks of 2D parity check or 2-dimensional parity check? So 4 and more bit errors cannot be detected in some cases. See, 2-bit parity check codes is very well used with 2-bit error, 3-bit error. Even at some cases we can detect 4-bit error, but not effectively all 4-bit error cases. And also more than 4-bit error we cannot detect. Okay. So here what happens is this 2-dimensional parity check, if the data word is or length of the data is very small, then we can go about this 2-dimensional parity check. Otherwise, the number of bits I'm going to use will become too many and it will spoil my transmission. And or otherwise I can say more number of bandwidth should be used. For example, I'm having 100 data words to be transmitted. What if I'm going to add 100 more bits of data in order to protect my data? It is like 2 times my bandwidth is utilized. So this scheme fails when I'm going to deal with a large amount of data. Okay, and it cannot detect errors if 2 bits in one data unit are changed and 2 bits in exactly the same position in another data unit is changed. So there are some drawbacks with 2D parity check as well. And more drawbacks. So both simple parity and 2D parity do not catch all the errors. So as we know, but it's all occasional. So it is all having an application where we can exactly fit in this. For example, there is a place where I am having a very smaller header file. You can take UDP transmissions. UDP transmissions will be having not more than 40 bits of data. Okay. In such cases, we can go about simple parity check schemes. Okay, not in the complex scenarios. Simple parity only catches odd number of bit errors and cannot catch if 2 bits are interchanged. 2D parity is better at catching errors, but requires too many check bits added to the block of data, as I already informed you. So 100 bits are there, definitely m into n. Say let us assume I am going to have 100 data words. I'm segregating those into 10 blocks of data, definitely m into n to be added. So more number of headache, more number of data to be added to the, more number of redundant data to be added to the actual data. So more headache means more bandwidth is utilized for only having error detection capabilities. So these are the drawbacks of 2-dimensional parity check. So how to overcome this drawback? So just leave these schemes and go for CRC, cyclic redundancy check. These are the very skillful schemes when it comes to raw data error detection. So for example, we use Wi-Fi and we use Ethernet data. So when it comes to Wi-Fi data chunk itself is approximately more than 2000 bits, 2000 bytes. Okay, so 2000 bytes of data can be detected for errors by a simple 32-bit CRC scheme. So only I am going to add 32-bit redundancy in order to detect almost 2000 byte data from a Wi-Fi frame. So that is the reason why CRC is the most successful error detection scheme of all time. And this is all about single dimension and 2-dimensional parity check codes. Thank you, friends.